provider. They wanted me to talk about, you being a technology lawyer. And for me, I think that is quite restrictive. It's everybody in this day and age will like to position themselves as, this, as that. But for me, it's beyond, boxing yourself into, yeah, I'm a technology lawyer. I can say I'm a technology, law expert because I have over 10 years working with different companies, in that area. But what we'll be talking about is how to serve both lawyers, both non-lawyers, and at the same time, what does he have, in stock for us? What is the trend like? What are people doing? As much as possible, that's basically what we'll be talking about. I have a PowerPoint, but I don't want to make it a PowerPoint conversation. I want to, be able to talk freely as much as possible. And I want to believe most of my audience are people still in the university or, about to leave or fresh graduates. So it's a topic that it's very dear to my heart. I wish I had people to tell me some things. And to be honest, I have to thank ASA Leader for putting this in place, setting people's future, bringing it to the fore, putting it in front of them, making them understand what they can do, how far they can go. There is no limit. Just a brief history about where we are. So in Nigeria, the legal profession is a very regulated one. A lot of laws, a lot of restriction. We still have some things we are battling with. You can't advertise as a lawyer. At the same time, they expect you to be competitive. Also, another thing that we see with the legal industry in Nigeria, that there are a lot of solo firms. We have a lot of lawyers. And I mean, it's a blessing, and it's also a cost in itself. Because we have a lot of lawyers, it's the law of demand and supply. So the demand is shrinking because of technology, because of earning capability of people, because of even because of technology itself. So for instance, why do I need to hire a lawyer to write an agreement when if I go online, I search, I get the agreement I want to use? So the demand is small. There are a lot of lawyers. Lawyers are being underpaid. And unfortunately, the school so I finished from IFE. Fine, fantastic school, education good, but nobody's going to teach you how to make business out of whatever you're doing, which is why forums like this, conferences like this are quite important for us to tell you. So it's like you going into the future to see and being able to correct, a lot of things. So that's basically what we will be talking about today. There are big law firms in Nigeria, but there are few. In a year, they're recruiting maybe 10, 15 people. Do you understand? And in the year, we're churning out like between 3,000 to 3,500 lawyers. I don't have my figures, but I know it's within that range. So where are we going to put the surplus? Which tells me that almost immediately, as much as possible, each and every person, before you leave school, you need to start thinking of how to get what you want out of life. All of us, we watch fantastic TV shows, Boston Legal, we watch Suits, and when you're watching it in your mind, you're like, yes, this is the kind of lawyer, I'm going to be. And I'm happy to tell you, you can actually be that kind of lawyer, because the world is a canvas. It depends on whatever you do with your time and how prepared you are for it. Nobody is going to give you on a platter of gold. Some of you may have, parents who are already in the legal profession, but at the end of the day, you find out that, legacy, it will always be about what can you do as a person. I'll talk about myself a bit. So in IFE, we were involved with law. We're good in class. We go to class, but as much as possible, we did other things. I was my chamber's president. And I'm going to talk about two other people to set this in motion. I was my chamber's president. We were coming to Lagos. We were, interacting with judges. We were interacting with Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We're engaging chambers to sponsor our events. We're writing proposals. I remember myself and one of my secretary then, who I'm going to use his story as a case study today. We were in part 5, he was in part 4 when we came to Lagos, and one night they issued us a check for 150,000 naira. You know, each time I look back at that day, it says a lot, because we found out everything we're doing today started from that point. We were thinking to ourselves, what did we tell a senior advocate to part with, 150K? I'm talking about 2006, 2007, so it was, quite a lot of money then. So at the end of the day, the demand is there. What can you do to separate, yourself? Now, what we typically do, the big law firms, having high billing hours and what have you, it's definitely not going to work again, because the market is overburdened, the market is stretched. So how do you, as a lawyer, how do you separate yourself? How do you use technology to decide whatever you're going to do? Because to be honest, I'm going to tell you, technology and being able to use technology will be the game changer for anybody in this industry. For instance, I can sit here and I'm consulting for a client in Germany. We can be having 3-way call, but the first thing is, do they even know I exist wherever I'm sitting or wherever I'm operating from? So beyond school is good. Beyond killing yourself in the library is fantastic. What other things are you doing? What associations have you joined? What are the kind of things you're doing? Who are you helping? Are you active in fellowship? Are you working in chambers? Are you busy doing law student society or your departmental activities? Are you helping out, doing those kind of things? Some of the mentors and the speakers on this program were people that we did trade fair together when we were in the uni. And I can tell you for free, they've gone far in their careers. And it happened like that. Most of the things that they're using today were things they learned while we were all in school. So the industry, as is evolving, we have complex cases also. So as a lawyer, people are not just looking to pay high fees for a lawyer. People actually want lawyers that can solve their problem. So people are looking for solution providers, as it is, simplicity. You don't just want to have a person sitting in and they just bill you high fees. The days that lawyers were able to bill very high fees and they hold on to it, it's going gradually. We have to be very, very frank with ourselves. When law started, so because the lawyers books were not readily available, it was a noble profession. People, a selected few, they sit down, they tell people what to do and what they can do. But now information, we're in the digital age, information on everybody's fingers already. So that luxury of bamboozling people and just sitting down feeling that you're going to strip them of their money, it's gone. It's a service provider world. How can you offer service and how can you hold on to people? That is it. It's called democratization of knowledge. I have instances where people will come and meet me. Oh, I need to do X, Y, Z. And they will tell me, okay, but I read somewhere that this. So even as a lawyer, you need to know what you're doing. You need to be 2 times prepared, because the person coming to meet you already has an idea of what will solve this problem even before asking you. So to stand out in this field, you need that extra, what are you doing and what can you do right? There's another trend now. So they call them alternative legal service providers. We're having the big consulting companies, the big 4, going into the legal business. There was a matter that there was a client I was trying to, seal a deal with. They wanted to come to Nigeria. So we already started conversation and stuff. And at the end of the day, they just told me that, okay, do this earlier part. Their global partner for this kind of transactions is Deloitte. And I was like, okay. And I was thinking, so what about plethora of law firms, the big law firms in Nigeria that sitting and readily waiting for briefs like this? What is happening? What has happened to them? And that's it. So even big companies, they're seeing that it's equally better for them to have a functional, vibrant legal department within their companies as consultants, so that when people are going into these areas, they can easily offer them the services. So that also chips into the kind of money lawyers are supposed to be making, or the big law firms are being throwing shoulders around that they're doing. Internet is the game changer. I mean, I heard Bankole speaking extensively about, are you a contributor or are you a consumer? And that's the truth. Internet is the game changer. You can do a lot with your time. And I plead, there's no minute, while you're in school that should be used like, oh man, please, let me just be. Future will take care of itself. Yes, future will take care of itself, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's something that we have to build consistently over time. And I if I had the opportunity to go back now, I'm not going to kid you. I'll be a baller, because I've learned, and I've seen my colleagues that were deliberate about what they wanted out of life. I've seen what they've been able to do, and I've seen how they were able to transform their lives, within the time from school till now that all of us, we're in the labor market. So what are the areas, so that's how it is. But also there are a lot of opportunities. So when I'm talking to people still in the university, a lot of people want to be, I want to be an oil and gas lawyer. I want to, do power. I want to focus on this area. I want to focus on that. Fantastic. It's beautiful. But I want to say that this is the time for lawyers to shine as ever before. So when I left school, my first job, I tried to get normal, apply and get kind of job. My first job was with my friends. So they had a tech company, and I needed to support them build tech product, and the registration, the business development and stuff. And there was a day that we went to one of the biggest law firms in Nigeria while we were in school. We went to their office, and I checked the man's table, and I saw different files, different companies, from agriculture to telecommunications to, different diverse to insurance to banks, different files on the table. I'm like, okay, what's happening? So when I got back to school, I went to Google the man, and I found out that this guy is sitting on board of different companies. So what that taught me, later thinking about it, like, as a lawyer, everybody, they will bring their problems to you. You have the opportunity to be, because people just want to do things the legal way. They want to know they're secure, everything is tight. So they will come to you. And it's so interesting that when they come to you, they're coming for you to solve their problem. Almost immediately, it gives you the opportunity also to see what is happening, how to be part of transactions, how to see trends, how to make yourself relevant. So it's good to be a lawyer. Like it's good to have area of focus, and I'm going to balance this. It's good to have area of focus, but also you need to make friends with people from different fields, like people in urban and regional planning, people in medicine, people in different areas, because we're getting to a time where when they're going to make their decisions to build the products, to do things that is going to serve the general market, they always want to know the legal backing they have, or the thinking of lawyers. That is one. Another thing is that, so for instance, people want to build products for lawyers. It's quite important. It's more often, most cases, quite difficult, and a lot of time it fails when people you are building product for are not part of the thinking process of users of the product. A classical example, last year, I saw a fantastic product by a gentleman, and I invested in the product. So the guy built a product for lawyers, but down the line, while correcting that, no, this can't work, this is the better way for this thing to work, his mindset was not, fluid enough to accept those things. So eventually I backed out. But I was thinking about it. We think the job is going, but the work is being created daily more and more for lawyers. Because while people are thinking of building the product for lawyers, as lawyers, we need to be part of the technological change to direct how the thing is supposed to go. So technology is as good as what technology is, but the process, the business development, those are areas you can function while from school. You can start thinking of what you want to do with your time. So do you want to intern in a fintech company? It's very possible because there are regulatory framework guiding how money is being transferred. Do you want to intern in a cryptocurrency company? That's also possible because these are areas that they are new as they're coming up globally. So there are demands for lawyers with specialties in those areas already. So if I were you, I mean, I finished school, I'm not going to go write or try to do my master's in land law, for instance, or maybe criminal law. I'm not talking down about any area of specialization, but you need to start looking at areas that are very close to law and also areas that are emerging areas of law, climate change, gender issues, LGBT issues. Those are areas, religion, migration. Those are areas that we really need people to actually function in. Data is the new oil. Data is the new oil. Imagine the number of meetings everybody we've had on Zoom or on Google Hangouts. They have people's email addresses, they have their phone numbers, they know where you are browsing from, they have your IP addresses. Data is the new oil. So as a lawyer, I mean, you're building your career. Are you focusing on areas, about data protection, things that are happening on the internet? So for me, if I'm saying that, you need to be prepared, that's preparation for me. Those are the areas that I feel that they are set for the future. Those are the areas, because there's nothing we can do with technology. Technology has come to stay. And that's the truth of the matter. People have digital footprints everywhere. You go on Twitter, you tweet, you go on Facebook, you go on YouTube, you go on Zoom, you log into your email, you use Google Maps to drive. We're dropping data everywhere. So there's some lawyers that it is their responsibility and their duty. How is this data? How is it protected? How is this guided? A real life example that I just stumbled on today. So there's a matter, there's a guy called Hush Puppy. I know a lot of you will know him. There's a matter going on. The Dubai police, they've written to Apple to unlock the devices of Hush Puppy. But Apple is rejecting that. No, they're not going to unlock it because its data is protected by rules of data protection they've signed. These are areas. Imagine you're an expert in that. Of course, they'll call you before the court to come and give expert opinion. So these are the things we're going to be facing. And this is the new norm. This is the new norm. Everybody is mobile. People are going around with their phone. That is where we are. And we need to be ready for it, as lawyers. So I'll touch on a few areas for people to see. Then I'll also mention how you can use technology to build your career, which is, for me, I think is the most important part of this conversation. So Internet of Things, it's a new area of law that even us that we feel that we have idea of different technology, jurisprudence are just forming. Even the legal framework is still very skeletal. So for instance, a person buys a Tesla. I mean, and these are real life situations. A person buys a Tesla or a driverless car, maybe a Google Android powered car. And he sits in his house, he sends the car probably to do something, get pizza or whatever. He sits at home and the car knocks a pedestrian down on the road. So the next question is who is responsible? Who has committed the crime? Is it the car? Is it the owner of the car who sits in his house sending the car? Is it the software development company that configured the software that malfunctioned? Is it the developer of the car itself? Now, another question, is it the state that's supposed to maybe line the road with RFDs, RFDF devices or pointers that's supposed to help the car, that derail the car? So these are areas that they are new, they're opening up, and it is an opportunity for people in school to start looking at this. Don't go and write about Macondo oil spill or Ogoni oil spill. It's been overflowed. When I went for my master's, all of us, everybody wants to write about Ogoni oil spill. And forward-thinking lecturers, they tell you that, guys, man, there's nothing new you're going to write on this area. Do you want to write about climate change? Do you want to write about global warming, the legal framework? Those are the kind of things that, while in school, you need to start thinking about. You need to stay in the future, to start thinking about it. Cyber terrorism, people staying on the internet, someone sitting in Bangladesh and hacking someone's computer in Nigeria. What are the framework? What are the legal framework, guiding this? How are people sabotaging governments and, holding them ransom to say they must pay them before something happens? For instance, there was one that happened in same Dubai. A guy hacked into the system of a hotel, locked all their doors, and requested for ransom before they can override it. These are issues being presented, and it's lawyers that are definitely going to answer these questions. And they're not just going to be lawyers, they're going to be future lawyers. So we need to start staying prepared in answering this, to position for yourself for the new norm, for the next century. Those are the kind of lawyers we want to see. We have smart contracts, we're having crypto issues. So my wife and I were having so my wife is a lawyer, by the way. We were having a conversation recently, and it was quite funny. So people want justice, right? But in Nigeria, you don't get justice. And we found out that a lot of people come to social media to just say, okay, this is what I've gone through. And the fact that people can listen to them, they feel they get, to an extent that, oh, at least someone believes in me. There's a level of justice, they're getting. And I'm thinking, as lawyers, are we not supposed to start thinking how to build a framework, a legal framework around this? Because to be honest, it's us against the world. If we build it and it's successful, for instance, if I'm able to settle claims on Twitter, why can't that be a novel thing to do? And you probably make a whole lot of money. People having claims, they can't pursue, and you are interested in, all those Twitter, Instagram sellers to actually develop something that can work. And the truth is this: government, they don't care, or nobody cares if you're able to settle a dispute or not, because there's an opportunity for you in alternative dispute settlement or mediation. So there's no regulation. You are not breaking any law by intermediating for two people, as far as you have the capacity or the right to do it. They listen to you, and you tell them that, okay, at the end of the period, if I'm able to help you get this claim, I get a percentage of it. There are a lot of opportunities for you out there, as a person that you can leverage on. There are different issues about, for instance, digital personalities. So for me now, my name is Oluwajoba Oloba. But if you go on Twitter to look for me, I call myself Bentley Lawyer. So more people know me. So I go to a party, for instance, and oh, hey, what's up? Hey, my name is Joba. Can you Bentley Lawyer. Oh, I know Bentley Lawyer. So you're having digital personalities already. So for instance, a person logs into an account and creates, they call them catfish, creates a catfish account and collects money from another person. Digital personalities are also becoming a huge phenomenon that people need to deal with. Lawyers need to deal with it. So there are a lot of opportunities for you, out there. So let me quickly touch on the business of law. Let's get something straight. People want a lawyer that can solve their problem, and that's the truth, about it. You just don't want any lawyer that giving you excuses. You want a lawyer that can come and, this is what I'm going through, this is what I need to get solved. The guy is able to solve the problem, and that's what's going to be the game changer. So you either be that, you sit down and you give your job, you outsource it to people, or you dig deep into an area of law that that each time they come to you, you have answers for. And I'm not going to lie to you, that's what has been the game changer, for the successful ones and the ones that are thriving in the industry. Even the law firms are looking for the best brain that can solve problems quicker than the next person. So that is it, and it's all out for us. I've already mentioned you can build a business doing B2B, business to business. You can serve businesses with your technologies, that you've provided, or you can serve consumers. To be honest, it depends on you. There are quite a number of them. So let me use Legopedia as a case study. Legopedia is an online repository of case laws, and different kind of things. And you find out that they are not selling to the general public, as it were. It's lawyers that need case laws. It's lawyers that need citation of cases and what have you. So, and it's good market for them. They have fantastic data. The subscription, it's pocket friendly kind of, and they have year agreements with people. It's good money. A lot of lawyers, can play within that space. Another one, I don't think I should be mentioning it, but these are tools we use. Law Pavilion, there are quite a number of them. Now, very funny, interesting thing that happened. So the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria, CAC, they launched a product, and now you can register your company online. And for me, that is fantastic. It's brilliant. At the end of the day, people don't need to come to lawyers to say that, I need to register a company. People can go online. Of course, there's always that human, part that experience can always help lawyers to get the, faster results before anybody. But hey, that is a fantastic service that you can actually sit down to create, sell to an organization, and sell to the world, and make a whole lot of money. From my office, different clients, they want to register their company in the US, Delaware company. There is a software that is seated in San Francisco, Clerky. Clerky, that's what even Y Combinator, that's what they use. Clerky helps you to do all registration, get to the agents at a fee. So people are beginning to look at the legal industry that it's a gold mine that they can actually create products for, to solve general problems and make a whole, lot of money. Conferencing tools. So for instance, lawyers, they need to meet, they need to speak with all the lawyers, they need to have roundtable. Zoom or chat, different chat rooms can solve that problem. You can create something that, can solve a better problem. There are different issues, file management for lawyers. There are a whole lot of things you can do. And I'm not kidding. This also goes for technology guys. There are a whole lot of problems that you can solve for lawyers. And as a lawyer, there are a whole lot of problems you can ideate and create solutions that technologically backed, and you can sell and make a whole lot of money from. This COVID period, there was an initiative, the Virtual Court COVID-19 initiative, and it's fantastic. So because people can't go out, or they have issues, but they are still having dispute to settle, an organization, a group of lawyers came together, set up an avenue for them to hear their disputes. And nothing says that you also can do that. You can be an arbitrator. You can sit down. You can settle disputes between two people. One is supposed to supply chair to another person. The person has refused, or what I ordered for versus what I got. All those kind of things. You can actually make some money from it. So for me, as much as possible, as a lawyer, those are the areas of preparation I feel and opportunities you can actually leverage on. Thank you very much for the time update. Now, how do you prepare for the norm? I hear a lot of students give excuse. Oh, I don't have this. Oh, I wish this, I wish that. To be honest, I don't think we have any excuse, provided you have data to do every other thing you're doing. And I'm not going to kid you. We are in a better time now than we've ever been. You can be the best in class if you know what you are doing. So I went to Dundee for my master's, and I found out that most of the courses that they were teaching us in class, they were already on YouTube, full hour video. So my first semester was, but when I found out, man, I read a bit, I sit down, I watch courses topic by topic, I watch it, I take notes. And I'm thinking, if I'm going back to for undergrad these days, I'm going to be a high flyer. It's not possible because it's already there for you. Technology has put it there for you. So you don't even have an excuse that, oh, this is possible, this is not possible. And you need to start early. There's nothing like I have a free time. When you're in university, intern, get internship, any break, offer to help people, even if it's free of charge. Go to law firms, offer to help them, offer to work. You put it on your CV. You learn things that your other friends that are sitting and fucking around, you learn things that they would have learned in a long time. You learn it by being on the job, and be a solution provider. Don't just be, they ask you a question and you are stuck. Always have it as a responsibility to bring an answer out. Just go and crack it. There's no stupid answer because there are different ways to do things. And as a lawyer, you always have to think about it. So if someone is arguing for, there's someone always arguing against. So you are never right, or wrong. It depends on how you're able to articulate your idea or your dreams. Then you have YouTube Edu, you have Udemy, you have Coursera, you have edX. Now, the beautiful things about this site is that don't dream that, oh, I wish my parents sent me to Harvard. They've created courses online for you. Go and take the courses. Better invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, there's no way you can be relevant in this new generation. I'm not kidding you, because the competition is very high. So you need to stay focused, real investment in yourself. Have a focus area. There's nothing like beating around the bush. Oh, today you are a tech lawyer. Tomorrow you are a land lawyer. Day after tomorrow, it's good to have idea of these areas, but let it be that when there is an issue, when people need clarity on something, you are the first person that comes to mind. It is extremely important. And when you have that, now go and research other people that are in those areas. What is their profile like? How have they gotten to where they are? Where did they go? What kind of schools, did they go to? And you also start following them. What kind of exams did they take? What kind of training did they take? Make sure you follow through. History repeats itself. So you can actually look at a mentor, look at someone's life and replicate it. And I'll give you real 2 live cases of me seeing this play out. Research, focus, get a role model, get coaches, get role models. Look at people in the industry that you like what you see in their lives and engage them. Tell them to advise you. How did you do this? And invest in yourself. Buy books, read, study, watch all these things. Go online. Just don't burn data. Sit on Twitter, just following what people say. Read, get knowledge. It is extremely important, at this stage. So, in conclusion, I have 5 minutes to just go through this. In conclusion, I want to talk about two guys that are very close to me, and I took their permission to share their stories. So 2 separate guys. One was my classmate, the other was a year my junior, and both we were all in Ife together. But some things these guys did then and the impact I'm seeing now, I will share their story to every person in uni, as many as I can that are willing to listen. So they studied in Ife. While we were in part 4, the guy was already telling us that he wanted to write ACCA exam. He wrote his ACCA and passed from maybe like part 5. Then, he started different, the tax. He wrote his project in taxation. Then he went on to get his, he interned in some places, then went on to get his master's from an Ivy League school in the US, Columbia. From there, he came back to Nigeria, worked a bit, became one of the youngest partners at PwC, youngest ever. Presently, the guy is a CFO of an oil company in Nigeria. The guy is not 40 as I'm talking to you. So I had the permission to share a story. So there's nothing you can do to me, hearing this. That is one. There's another guy, the second guy. The guy I told you that we went together to get the 150K check. Good. The guy, while I think I was in part 5, I can't remember. While we were in school, he will come to Lagos. intern at, I think it was Babalakin, when he finished, worked in some places in Lagos, left, went to Colombia also, focused on ADR. While we're in school, he did multi-door courthouse ADR training, did that, did his LLM, something related, ADR also. So you can see the trend. They knew what they wanted to do. They followed it through. Because of that, went to an Ivy League school. After that, came to Nigeria, became one of the top guys in Lagos Court of Arbitration, left, is in White and Case in France now. Recently, they just announced him as one of the 20 best ADR professionals in Africa. These guys knew what they wanted to do right from uni, and they followed it through. And that's my, charge to you today. Don't be a jack of all trades. Go and think about it. Look for an area and do all you can with the area. I'm going to conclude with the quote by Bruce Lee. He says, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." It's being deliberate and having a focused area and being very good at it. Thank you very much. I've had a fantastic time talking to you guys. I have a question here. Is there a general aspect of technology law that is applicable in aviation? Fantastic question. So aviation is, so let me start from here. There's aviation law. I wrote my dissertation on carriage of goods, by air. There's aviation law, and definitely there are legal regimes surrounding this. So a classical example, software dovetails into, there are different areas of software that dovetails into aviation. The plane crash that happened where they developed a software, I think it was Boeing, that affected Ethiopian Airlines, automatically they will go to, there will be dispute settlement in that issue. And there will be specialists that will come to actually, sit on this matter to help out in reaching a decision. So there's practically no area in life that you don't have the legal aspect, because so far you have people, then you always imagine that there will be disputes or disagreements or things people need to protect. So definitely there's an opportunity for you, if you want to look at aviation. If you go online, the plethora of video or courses or that kind of thing that we address that kind of thing. And as this address technology majorly. Okay, this is another question. I understand that this address technology law majorly, but then I want fits field like international law and diplomacy. How one fits field. Okay. I think what this person is trying to say has to do international law and diplomacy with technology. International law is wide. Of course, diplomacy. I mentioned initially about migration. So for instance, what I do with the German government has to do with migration. And as it were, there are different areas, different things, surrounding it. One of it may be even the people that they're trying to deport have been involved in cyber issues or technological related issues. So if you're an expert that have understanding of how technology works, so I sit with developers, and if I'm cross-examining, I'm easily able to know different things, different areas, understanding that a typical person that does not have that kind of in-depth knowledge, migration, technological understanding or area of law, no knowledge is lost. So the deeper and the vast, the grounded you are in one, the better applicability in the other. And one thing that is good that the British system encouraged is, so for instance, people have their undergrads in something different entirely. So for instance, Lord Denning was a guru in engineering. before he came into law. So he helped his analytical mind, when he's analyzing an issue, he was, very good, at that. Do you advise a law student to learn a core technology skill? Like, I totally advise. It's not a deal breaker, but if you love to code, man, why not? As of today, I'm still trying to develop an application that will help lawyers solve a problem. So if you're able to code, or you love to code, please, I'm very happy. Reach out to me. I'll be very get across with the organizers. I'm very happy to help, to point you in the right direction, to support. Because the truth is this: when you have knowledge in a different area and you go into another area, that's the way our mind is wired. So if you have coding, typical programming language skills, and you are a lawyer, it will be easier for you to build products that can serve lawyers, not general technology people just building products, thinking or imagining it will help lawyers. So, that's how it is. I think I don't have any question again. When it is said that most jobs will soon get outdated due to artificial intelligence, how does this affect? Exactly. So people say these things. And I think it's a subjective thing, right? For me, I believe as how do I put this? The person that will be scared of this artificial intelligence taking his job is a person that is not knowledgeable or ready for the future. So as I am, if I'm already building myself, even the artificial intelligence, who is responsible is someone that wrote the program, the bot. It's someone that will understand the legal framework. So there's some things that you as a lawyer will still get done. If you are so useless that a computer will take your job, then probably you don't even have a business in the profession itself. That anytime they ask me this question, that's what I say. But you can build yourself to an extent that you are very relevant and you are very knowledgeable that this framework, they will definitely come and meet you, when they're going to design this legal framework. So I don't think lawyers, it's stupid lawyers' job or the lazy lawyers, their jobs that is threatened. The fantastic lawyers, they will always, get a job. Thank you so much, guys. COVID has happened, but hopefully we'll meet on campus one of these days. It's been a fantastic time, talking to you guys. I wish you all the best. Please feel free, contact the organizers. You always have us, man. Like, I'm happy to help as many people as possible. The sky is your limit. And we meet in future. Cheers.
Okay. Thank you very, very much, sir, for that. We really appreciate the insights. Yes, sir. So since nobody has any other question, so yes. Guys, you will need to go back to the main group because the Jobberman Career Fair will take place immediately after this breakout. So the link has already been shared in the chat. I will share it again so that you guys can move seamlessly to the Jobberman Career Fair. For someone that is so it is shared already. So you can just click the link and go back to the Jobberman Career Fair. We'll be waiting to receive you guys there.
So one last question. Along the way, I lost interest. Okay. I lost interest because we almost branded criminals. We are not allowed to develop. So I have to branch into data science. So I do AI now. So how do you encourage someone like me that had that same vision like me, so as to practice in a safe way, so you not be branded a criminal? Because once you hear cybersecurity, it immediately comes to you're a bad person, you break into the system, you exploit vulnerability. So how do you advise that kind of person?